Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Chris Briggs here, Georgetown Tigers. You're back where you belong right here in Kansas City. It was I'm not going to say a tough year because you finished, 24-7, but it was bumpier than normal.
Right. Oh, always glad to be back to Kansas City. Nothing like it. Nothing like this basketball tournament. And so many great memories over the years. And anytime you're back in Kansas City means you've done something right this year. So, but yes, a little rocky, a little bumpy, injury. Just had so many injuries, guys in and out. We lost senior Gavin Stevens, played maybe 2 or 3 games and lost him for the season. Then lost Rashad Bishop in our second conference game and got him back, fortunately, the other day. Lost a couple freshmen, Chance Dillingham tore an ACL last game of the year, and Julius Edmonds, who was really coming on inside for us, fractured his thumb the third to last regular season game. So, just been revolving door of lineups. But
you're here in Kansas City.
The guys have had toughness and been resilient and fought through it and battled the adversity and just big time.
Well, toughness is your middle name there at Georgetown, isn't it?
I guess so. I mean, yeah. We tell all the guys, some of them getting hurt, and they're like, "What are you doing to them in practice?" And every one of them's been in game. So, yeah, we do. We harp on toughness, and we have physical practices, but all the injuries came in games and not practice. So it is what it is. Sometimes that's what life throws at you. So you got to deal with it.
Let's. I want to start with your redone arena, your redone gym. I don't know if everybody around the country knows about that. I was talking to Jonas this morning. I introduced myself to your assistant. And somebody came up to him and said, "Hey, did you guys finally do something with your gym?" And I got to intercede and say, "Yeah." So
big time.
It was overdue, but you did $3 million worth of work. You sent me some pictures. Tell everybody what you did there.
Right, almost 4. Got up to almost $4 million. New floor, new seating, new lighting, new HVAC. Before it was either on or off, and it was hotter in a brick oven, or it was freezing in there if it was off. There was not really too much regulation of the temperature. So brand new HVAC, new wood floor in the rec center / kind of practice facility for us and numerous other sports that get in there and use it. So it was it was that older tartan, is that what they call it, tartan floor, older like kind of rubber floor. So put a brand new wood floor down there. So big time shout out to former player Mike Calhoun that played played with Coach Reed, played with Jim Reed back. We were just talking to him before we went on air, but played with him, and a big fundraiser for us here at Georgetown was huge in getting a couple foundations involved and funding that project. So really turned out great and was, like you said, much needed. And it was such a fantastic weekend this past weekend, hosting there with both men and women, and so many people coming back. And we had people come in from out of town that hadn't been back to see the new gym yet. And just what was a great weekend. And fortunately, both us and the women advanced to the next round. So
you had an unbelievable atmosphere.
It's great. Yeah, it's the perfect size. You don't want too big where it looks like there's nobody there, and too little where everybody's cramped in there. It's the perfect size to get 1,000 or so people in there and have great basketball, and just a fantastic experience, fantastic atmosphere.
So let's talk a little bit about the Mid-South. Freed kind of jumped out ahead of everybody. Right. Big battle between you guys, Cumberland's Lindsey Wilson, and you guys, Cumberland's Lindsey. Was there one other one in there?
Campbellsville, Bethel, Tennessee.
Yeah,
both. Yeah.
But it was a big battle below there, for seeding. Talk about the Mid-South and how it was just kind of beat up on each other.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way it's always been. 4, 5 years ago, we also had Pikeville, and we also had Thomas More, and we also had Tennessee Southern, and we also had Life and Shawnee State. So, that was back when we were playing 22 conference games, and Mid-South has always been tough, always been, quote unquote murderer's row. So, you can get beat at home or on the road any night you go play. And, just a few years ago, if you were 6th, 7th, or 8th in our league, you could probably win other leagues.
Yeah.
Now we're down to only 7 teams, and, but 7 quality teams, and 5 of those teams made the tournament, with Bethel, Tennessee getting in, Lindsey Wilson getting in, and Campbellsville just barely missing. They had the RPI, they had the strength of schedule,
but they had a 30-something RPI.
Just didn't quite have the quad 1 wins. I think, they had maybe 2 quad 1 wins, 2 and 9, 2 and 10. So, but it's dangerous. I mean, they beat us, so that tells you how good they are. So they're capable. So great league, and since I've been at Georgetown and since well before I got to Georgetown, Coach Osborne, Coach Reed always said, if you can be successful in the conference, you got a chance to do something in Kansas City.
One thing I think is really tough about the league is you play so few league games,
right,
that if you hit a bad spot,
right,
it can mess you up.
Right.
There's no catch-up time.
Right. That's why when we had game after game guys going down with injury, I'm sitting here going, we better find a way.
Yeah, and I think I even said during that time, I say they're going to get so far back there, not going to be able to catch back up.
Just kept harping to our guys, find a way. We're playing 7, so what? Find a way. Find a way, toughen up, guard people, rebound the ball, take care of the ball, get good shots, and find a way to get this win. And, because our last, month of the season, we continually harped on how important it was to be able to host a national tournament.
Yeah, and it all worked out. I want to talk about a few of your guys. Let's start with the seniors. Isaiah Mason and Darian Lewis. Obviously, Rashad Bishop you mentioned earlier before. But those seniors were really key. They weren't always your top scorers. Isaiah Mason scored a lot of points, but they offered you a lot of leadership, didn't they?
Oh, for sure. Leadership, toughness, discipline, doing things the right way, knowing what it takes, knowing how you need to work day in, day out, whether it's game day or practice or shoot-arounds and walk through, the focus and the attention to detail you got to have. So been super proud of our leadership out of Isaiah and Darian Lewis both. I think Isaiah's had maybe double-figure double-doubles. I can't remember how he ended up 10, 11, 12, maybe 13 double-doubles as a 6'4" guard. Left-handed, smooth, and can knock down shots and can get to the rack. So just big-time proud of those guys and happy for those guys to, be able to get out here to Kansas City and get this chance to keep going.
One guy I want to ask you about really caught my eyes, Bubba. You say it, Lavelle?
Bubba Level. Level.
He doesn't have, I think he shoots like 36% or something from three, but he's like, if he gets hot,
it's a couple. It's a couple. Watch out. Yeah. So if he hits one, we're running a couple plays.
I think he shot 200. I wrote it down. 213 threes.
Wow. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah. Is he one of those guys that right away when he's hot?
He shot one the other day that he caught at his shoestrings and just raised right up and shot it. And I'm thinking, and it almost went in. So I was like, okay. But yeah, he's just one of those guys that if he sees one go through, gets a layup or gets a free throw and sees it go through the net, he can really get flowing, really get going. He can shoot it from deep. He can get it off quick. Sometimes he'll catch it right here and just go straight into a shot with no dip.
Yeah.
So just a dangerous
guy. He can be
guy.
really dangerous. That's what I was going to say. He can be really dangerous.
Now he can make 8 or 9, but he can miss 8 or 9 too. So
yeah, because I think I wrote it down. I think it's 36%, but he's a pretty exciting player. Level. I've been pronouncing it wrong.
Bubba Level been a huge spark for us.
And then a guy that I don't think gets enough credit. He's a junior. Is Aiden Eichen.
Right.
He kind of does the dirty work. 10 points, 6 rebounds.
Plays hard, strong, undersized post. 6'4", strong post player. Really good around the basket. More athletic than you think. He had a knee injury back in high school, but sneaky athletic. Jump up there and go get a lob, and just rebounds, defends, screens. Does the tough things. Great kid, phenomenal kid. That's one thing I'll say about all these guys. They're just wonderful people, wonderful human beings that you want to be around and you enjoy being around, and love having my kids and my kids' friends around. They're good with the kids, so great group of kids. But yeah, Aiden just glue guy, does all the dirty work. He comes
across that way.
He wants to take charges all the time, and a lot of times I have to keep telling him, like, Aiden, it is really hard to take a charge in college basketball these days. He's like, you're right, coach. Just jump up, wall up, and don't come down. But yeah, when he first came in, he was taking a lot of charges, and then all those rules kind of changed his game a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
But great kid, phenomenal young man.
Kind of lost my place here a little bit. You're sorry about that.
Sorry.
Let's talk about the getting here. You had to play Kokomo, and then you had to play Bethel. That was brutal.
Right, no doubt.
That Bethel game, you ended up beating them pretty good, but that was a close game.
Yeah, right. It was not that close. It was a 2, 3, 4, 5 point game until the last 4 minutes. And just kind of kept getting stops, and then they fouled a few more times probably than they really needed to kind of make that score look that way. But that was a very close game. Just a very well coached, very solid, very good team. Unpredictable, but the way they run their offense and kind of incorporate the flares and the handoffs and the weaves and just a really good, tough, disciplined team that's dangerous. And we were just fortunate to be able to make a couple shots. Even one, Isaiah Mason hit a big one with the shot clock going down when we were kind of unorganized and a little slow to attack with that clock going down. Hit a big one, hit a couple threes late, and got the stops late. But again, I think they were 14 in the RPI.
Yeah.
And a sixth seed. So, dangerous team. And Coach Draven does a great job with those guys. And he's a class guy. We had been up there probably 30 minutes cutting down the net and celebrating with the family. And he hears the guys come down. We finally make it down to the locker room and just talking real quick and getting ready to go feed them, and comes into the locker room and wishes the guys best of luck and congratulations.
He is a class guy.
He's a big time class guy. Great guy, great coach. And that was a game that, unfortunately, the way it worked out, that should have been a Kansas City game, with them, being so highly rated. And when I saw that and them as a 6 seed, I'm sitting there thinking, what? So, but that's the way it goes. So
I remember now what I was going to ask you. We were talking about your guys, because then I wanted to roll back up to Rashad Bishop.
Right.
Now you lost him in early January.
Right.
You really, like you said, you got through. Through. But talk about that moment when you put him on the floor, that IU Kokomo game.
It was awesome. I mean, before the game, I saw his dad walking along the baseline and said, "Who's happier to see him back, me or you and the family?" And he's like, all of us, coaches. We're just glad to have him back. So very fortunate to get him back, really. He went down, I believe it was January 10th, 9th or 10th at Bethel. We had played Freed first conference game, Bethel second, went up to dunk and kind of came down on the baseline and landed on it and fractured that wrist. And the first doc he saw actually wanted him to have surgery. And he got a second opinion. He had broke his other wrist in high school playing football in Louisville. So he went back to that doc, and that doc looked at it and said, "Yeah, you could do surgery, but if you really want to try to have a chance to play, then, let's brace it and let it heal, and, don't mess with it, stay off of it." And he had that brace on it probably at least 8 weeks. I mean, it was January 8th or 10th, and he didn't practice live. He dressed out at the conference tournament. And like I said, I didn't coach that game, and I wasn't going to play him in that conference tournament unless we just had to, maybe by the championship game had we made it, which we didn't. But he didn't even go live contact in a practice until after that conference tournament.
Wow.
But that first practice where he came back, and it was a little stiff and a little, had to work out from being in that brace. But, you could tell he was just a difference maker with the length and the shot blocking and athleticism, going up and getting rebounds. And fortunately, it was his left hand. So it's his right hand's his dominant hand. So, just big time difference maker for us to be able to get him back, and just great for him too, as a older guy, a sixth year senior now with the COVID and the redshirt year that he had after COVID. So for him to be able to deal with that and stay positive and stay in shape and stay ready, and then come in and when it matters the most and win or go home games and impact the game like he did, just super happy for him and proud of him, happy for him.
So before I let you go, we got to talk about your matchup out here.
No.
Arizona Christian. Everybody I've talked to the last couple of days, like, what about that Georgetown Arizona Christian matchup?
Right.
Both known as really tough programs. Just when you look at it, I mean, just talk about that matchup.
I mean, it's at our level, it's just like, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, the powers. I mean, Arizona Christian has had a heck of a program. Coach Rutter does a great job. He's had a great program going over there for a long time. I mean, we beat them in 19 on our way to that title, and they could have easily beat us that year. We lost to them in 15, I believe, and he's had that thing going for a while. Got huge respect for him, huge respect for his players and his program, the way they play, the way they compete. I mean, they're athletic, they're strong, we played them here in November in Kansas City in the Remington Williams Classic, and was a barn burner there. We got lucky, and Zion threw in a floater on the baseline to win the game after they'd hit a three to take the lead late. So it was back and forth, and it's going to be one for the record books. I mean, you can't say enough good things about their program, the way they play, and
I agree.
Just hopefully both teams go out there and play hard, compete, and be a heck of a game, and see what happens. But got huge respect for them and the way they play, and big time talent over there in Arizona Christian.
Chris, Georgetown College has a unbelievable basketball history. What's it mean to you to be able to get the Tigers back here this year after kind of having to go through some ups and downs?
Just fantastic, phenomenal. I mean, that's what we talk about from day one at practices. I don't know if you know this. All of our practice jerseys this year are number 35 on the back. Last year they were 34.
Yeah, I remember that.
The year before they were 33. So we huddle up and we point at the banners, and we we say, you know, how many years in a row Georgetown's been to national tournaments, and you know, you're playing, try to get to that Final Four and get that national title. But, you know, most importantly is you got to take care of business and lock in and do the little things and bring it every day and dial in and focus and keep the task at hand to get to that national tournament before you can win it. So 35 in a row, fantastic, you know, especially in the year where we open up the new gym after the renovation, and especially in a year with, you know, guys dropping like flies to injury and in and out of the lineup and being somewhat shorthanded. And just, you know, like I said, we got a great group of kids, phenomenal young men. I tell them all the time, you know, good things happen to good people that work hard, and they've done that this year, and they've earned this trip. So we're just glad to be here, and then looking forward to the challenges ahead. Obviously, it's a huge challenge with Arizona Christian, but you know, just glad to be here and glad to represent Georgetown College, and looking forward to getting out there and competing and having some fun.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck. Thanks for taking some time tonight. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my friend. Always appreciate you and appreciate your work that you do for the NAI and small college basketball.
Thank you very much. That's
Yes,
Chris
sir.
Briggs, head men's basketball coach at Georgetown College. Thanks.